Here they come up the middle on the blitz. He's grabbed by Queen. He spins away. Slippery, but down he goes. Shove right back and back to the 38. And the punting unit comes out there for the Steelers.
Takes him. That's always the worst case scenario for a quarterback. Protect my inside. Let the edges go. Let's see if that leg gets bent underneath.
Huddle up, Steelers Nation. It's Tank for Steelers Chalk Talk here on Fox Sports Wheeling, Pittsburgh. How are you this morning? Hopefully everybody is doing, well, Jim Dandy, as I like to say. Just Jim Dandy. You got to be doing better than Kenny Pickett's doing. I mean, well, concussion number 2. As I'm talking to you here on the air, I'm looking at the tape again. Hey, you can go to Steelers Chalk Talk on YouTube or Facebook, and you can look at what I'm looking at right now because we put video up of the radio show. Isn't 2022 and technology absolutely amazing? Yeah, it is something. Kenny's poor coconut gets banged off the turf. Oh, brutal hit. Brutal hit. And that's what I want to talk about this week in the first episode, because I tell you what, it's kind of like Coach Mike Tomlin down there in the South Side has well, it's okay attitude, what's happening to his quarterback. Now, that's going to sound crazy, ain't it? But we're going to talk a little bit about the sacks Kenny has had so far this season. We're going to talk about Coach Tomlin's comments at this week's press conference. Now, look, Kenny's been sacked 24 times this year. That's not the most in the NFL. No, poor Russell Wilson is getting just the schnot knocked out of him out there in Denver. He's been hit 43 times, sacked. 43 times. I can't even imagine. Followed by, well, you know, Justin Fields down there in Chicago. Joe Burrows is taking a beating over in Cincinnati at 35 sacks. Jalen Hurts, 34 sacks. Mr. Herbert, Justin Herbert, if you ever heard of him, Sherbert Herbert, well, he's been sacked 30 times. Mariota, whatever you want to call him, Castriota, Toyota, whatever you want to call him, 28 times. Aaron Rodgers, 24 times. Kenny Pickett, 24 times. So, in relative perspective, how many times Kenny's been hit, 24 is not so bad compared to Russell Wilson at 43. That's almost twice as many times. But all this was preventable. Totally preventable. If you've been listening to the show the last couple of weeks, you've heard my rants. One of our YouTube videos I labeled 2022 didn't have to be a rebuilding year. It's close to 1,000 hits because it seems like a lot of you agree with me. But before I go on this rant this week, I want to go back to a couple of weeks ago on the South Side. Because in case you didn't hear it, yours truly, old Tank Tantlinger here with Fox Sports Radio, Wheeling, Pittsburgh, 1400, 103.9 FM. Every Saturday morning, 10 a.m., right here on Fox Sports. I came under the ire of Coach Tomlin a couple weeks ago when I asked about Kenny being hit repeatedly and the concussions and the hits and whatnot. And Tomlin actually went after me a couple times in a press conference afterwards. So I must have definitely gotten under his skin. I was actually quite proud because I made the national news. Even the NFL Network was talking about me asking Coach about. Now, this is a couple weeks ago, too, that I told Coach Tomlin that Kenny was getting hell beat out of him. So let's hear that again, just for posterity's sake.
He exits, at least momentarily, after taking the big shot from Devin White.
Saints bring 4. Pickett gets hammered from the backside. We were just talking about it. It's Caden Ellis.
Coach, you mentioned the Bengals' ability to bring pressure, especially on pass rush. Your Achilles heels has been the pass blocking on Kenny, concussed, multiple sacks over the last couple of weeks.
Thank you for being so descriptive of that.
Yeah, getting the hell beat out of him. Is it possible to correct technique on pass blocking throughout in the middle of the season?
Certainly. We're continually sharpening our sword and developing skills relative to our positions at all positions, whether it's the collective or whether it's individual people that have things that creep up in their game. That's why we work every day. The skill development component of practice is a significant one. That's why we don't go straight to group work, even at this juncture of the season.
All right, so that's a couple weeks ago. All right, after Kenny got jacked up by the Saints linebacker. All right, so being flippant with me basically got under my skin. So, yeah, Kenny got the hell beat out of him. Fast forward to the Dirty Birds of Baltimore coming to town. And how would you phrase it? I'll throw it to you out there, the listeners in Steubenville, Wheeling, Little Washington, PA. You Red Raiders listening this morning. Did Kenny get hit again? Or did Kenny get the hell beat out of him again? Did he get his coconut smashed off the turf again because of a bad offensive line performance? But I'm heading to that direction. So I'm not trying to sit here and say, look, listen to me, I'm so right about what's going on. You guys are seeing it too. What I don't like is a head coach who won't acknowledge that his offensive line stinks. The fact that he lost Mike Munchak and all that crap about Munchak wanting to be with his family, I take that at 50%. The other half of it, Mike Munchak is a winner. Would you want to be around a bunch of losers? No, you wouldn't. So you lose Munchak, you go to Sean Sarrett, you go to Akeem, now you got this Pat Fryer guy. When the hell's the last time you've had a good line? And quit blaming it on the actual personnel you have. Okay? I listen to these other sports talk radio stations where none of these morons have ever been knocked on their third point of contact. And they're, oh, well, we can address the offensive line in next year's draft. Oh, next year's draft. I tell you, next year, what we got to do during the draft, I tell you what we need. We need an inside linebacker. Yeah, you do. That's a different story. We need a cover corner. Yeah, you do. That's a different story. But I tell you what, we'll go get us some stud linemen. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I listen to my compatriots, as it were, on the other radio stations and the so-called experts. Even some of them on Stil'rs Nation Radio. None of them ever played it down, football in their life. But they're on Stil'rs Nation Radio as an expert. And you know what do we need? We need to draft more linemen next week. Or even next year. That's what we need. We need better linemen. No, you don't. You need better coaches, you moron. You know who's doing a damn good job, who's been thrown to the wolves? Is Dan Moore. This poor kid last year comes in as a rookie. You got Zach Banner. You got Chooks Okafor that's supposed to be your blindside left tackle, protecting Ben Roethlisberger. Ask Joe Theismann about the little thing that happened with Lawrence Taylor, about how important the blindside tackle is. The Steelers had ample time to prepare last season, for their offensive line. Chooks Okafor didn't even make it 3 or 4 games, and they're like, holy hell, he can't play left tackle. We better move him to right tackle. How could you go through OTAs? Oh, I'm so fired up. OTAs. How could you go through preseason? How could you have him the year before that and not know that he doesn't have enough skill to play left tackle? You're a moron. whoever's coaching the line at that time. So here you go with Kenny again. Again, he's been sacked 24 times. Not as bad as Russell Wilson at 43, but he's getting a snot knocked out of him. You know, your first-round draft pick, your future quarterback, hopefully, of your team. Second concussion. That's not even to mention if you don't know if he's had a third one or a fourth one. You know how many concussions Brett Favre, Terry Bradshaw, Jim McMahon played through that nobody knew nothing about and they still continued to play? This is all on Mike Tomlin. It's not even on his hires as offensive line coach after Munchak left. Sean Starrett, Akeem, who didn't even make it through the season. Now this Pat Meyer guy. The buck stops here. Who I forget whatever American president had that sign on his desk. J. Edgar Hoover, Elvis Presley. I don't know who the president was. The buck stops here. Well, guess what, Mike Tomlin? It starts with you. You're getting your young first-round future team Hall of Famer Kenny Pickett, maybe, if he's really good. You're getting him killed and beat up. It's Mike Tomlin's fault. Kenny's getting the hell beat out of him. So, if you think I'm fired up now, I want you to listen to this week's press conference. How Coach Tomlin dances around the issue of Kenny getting the hell beat out of him. How he trusts the medical experts and how he'll stay out of the decision making. I'll let you listen to what your head coach has to say, then we'll get back to this.
For how you move forward.
Mike, is there a concern with the protocol in the sense that Kenny was allowed to go back out on the field? I mean, do things need to be amended again?
Not at all. I know anytime there's an injury, you guys love to chew that up over the course of the week, but it was, as I mentioned, when someone's in the protocol, they're evaluated by the experts. They're either cleared to participate or not. Even when they are, which he was, they watch him continually. As they continued to watch him, they decided to pull him, and that's the reality of it. So enjoy. Have at it.
Is there any concern with him that this is second time in the protocol?
Not from me, because I'm not a medical expert. I gain my position, my confidence, my levels of concern, any of the things that you would ask along those lines from the medical experts. I'm really comfortable in that.
Experts expressed any concerns?
I haven't met with him yet today.
So you don't have to proceed any more cautiously because he's been in the...
Not at all. Not at all. I'm really comfortable with where we are. As I've mentioned in the past, when we've had injuries of this nature, I got nothing but great admiration and respect for our medical experts. People come from all over the world to visit with our guys and from other sports as well. And so I'll let them do what it is they do. A play that they have right now that's produced consecutive wins here in the last couple of weeks. And so we got a lot of work ahead of us. We're excited about that work. Starts in the classroom and strategy as we sit here today, and then we'll get to the physical labor and the prep tomorrow as we start to get back on the grass and lean in on it. I'll pause and open it up for questions.
Mike, to clarify, if Kenny can't start on Sunday, would you go with Mason or Mitch?
You know, I'm going to work both guys this week if given an opportunity, if he's not able to participate. But really, I'm taking it day by day from a quarterback decision-making standpoint. His availability day-to-day is such a key component of it. And so I'm not even looking toward the end of the week. I'm really kind of just looking at what tomorrow looks like and playing it by ear from that perspective. All three guys are sharp guys. All three guys have been participants in our game planning, particularly of late, and all are very capable of playing the position and playing the position at a high level within what we're doing right now. And so we'll take it day to day and play it by ear.
Mike, when you go back and look, what did you like about what Mitch was able to do?
You know, I thought we moved the ball fluidly, continually, and that's what you better have when you have a veteran backup like him. The reps that we'll take it day to day and play it by ear.
Mike, when you go back and look, what did you like about what Mitch was able to do?
You know, I thought we moved the ball fluidly, continually, and that's what you better have when you have a veteran backup like him. The reps that he misses during the course of the week is made up for by his cumulative experience and expertise, if you will, and we felt that. We didn't feel any reduction in what we intended to do once Kenny went down, and I thought we continued to move the ball fluidly. As I mentioned, we just didn't make enough plays, particularly on the field, got short. We got to do a better job of taking care of the football.
Mike, with Mitch being number 2 the most of the season, what has allowed Mason to now join that conversation, at least leading up to this week?
We work both guys. Both guys have remained engaged, and it's really kind of been 2 and 2A, if you will.
All right, so that's Mike Tomlin at this week's press conference. I'll let it up to the medical staff. Oh, I'm not concerned. Now, I can hear some of you out there saying, look, well, what do you expect him to say, Tank? He can't let the Carolina Panthers know who's playing quarterback this week. Oh, really? Can't he? Oh, we got to keep the rest of the league wondering if Kenny's really hurt or not. You know, you can't expect a straight answer. Let me tell you what. Mike Tomlin should be, in case there's kids listening, very, very, very upset right now at himself, at his offensive line coach. Not Dan Moore, not Kevin Dotson, not Mason Cole, not even the waste of money at right guard out of Chicago, and not even Chuks Okafor, who should be playing right guard at best, if not nose guard. Mike Tomlin seems to be living in this dystopian universe where, reality doesn't matter. Reality doesn't matter. Your young first-round quarterback is getting the hell knocked out of him week after week because of a poor offensive line that is being poorly coached, horrible pass-blocking technique. If you've listened to the show, you've heard me go through it ad nauseum. And here's Mike Tomlin just going, oh, well, I'll let it up to the medical experts. You know what? Man up, stand up there, look in the camera and go, you know what? We're 5-8. This season's not going the way I expected. I'm going to go ahead and set my young quarterback down because I'm worried about his health. I have a tremendous back. You heard Tomlin talking about Trubisky's performance. The team moved the ball down the field. He expects that of a veteran quarterback. Now, understandably, he tried to give accolades to his third-team quarterback, Mason Rudolph. Ben Roethlisberger's heir apparent. James Washington, Biletnikoff winner quarterback. You remember the Oklahoma kids that were supposed to come up here and tear it up after Ben? Yeah, how'd that all work out? Third stringer. How come Mike Tomlin can't sit up there and go, I made a mistake? I got to find a new offensive line coach again. I'm getting my young quarterback killed. I'm setting him for the rest of the season. I can't watch this beating he's taking. Hey, you're listening to Stil'rs talking chalk. I'm so upset I'm mumbling this morning. Stil'rs Chalk Talk here on Fox Sports Wheeling, Pittsburgh. I'm your host, Tank Tantlinger. Coming back in the second segment so I can rant some more about, coaching.
Here they come up the middle on the blitz. He's grabbed by Queen. He spins away. Slippery, but down he goes. Shove right back and back to the 38. And the punting unit comes out there for the Steelers.
Takes him. That's always the worst case scenario for a quarterback. Protect my inside. Let the edges go. Let's see if that leg gets bent underneath.
Here they come up the middle on the blitz. He's grabbed by Queen. He spins away. Slippery, but down he goes. Shove right back and back to the 38. And the punting unit comes out there for the Steelers.
Takes him. That's always the worst case scenario for a quarterback. Protect my inside. Let the edges go. Let's see if that leg gets bent underneath.